Today, several people gathered at the Speed Art Museum to celebrate an upcoming holiday that holds significance to several cultures around the world. They partnered with the Asia Institute Crane House to ring in the Lunar New Year. The event is celebrated in places like China, Vietnam, and Korea, among others, and is a time where people focus on renewal, honor their ancestors, and celebrate their families and communities.
Based off of the most recent Census Bureau findings, the Asian community is actually one of the fastest growing communities here in Louisville. So it's just a testament for us to celebrate the traditions and cultures of Asia, and also to celebrate our immigrant brothers and sisters.
The Lunar New Year season starts with the first new moon of the lunar calendar and ends on the first full moon 15 days later. This year it will officially begin on Tuesday, February 17th. This will mark the year of the horse in the Chinese zodiac. We'll be right back.